How's it going, everyone? How's it going? A minute early. Well, a couple seconds early. Hoping for no internet issues. If you were trying to get into the stream earlier today at about 2 o'clock, somehow, at 2 minutes before the stream started, the internet decided to give out. It was like a big thing in my area. I got an email about it saying that it would be going through maintenance for like 2.5 hours. The internet's been back on for a couple hours, but I figured I would wait until a little bit later in the evening. So we're here. We're going to go through some of the stuff that we were going to go through earlier. Even since then, the case has had some new updates. Not anything crazy, but that's how this case seems to go. It's like if you just wait a few hours, you're going to have some more stuff to talk about. So definitely click that like button on the way in so we can get the YouTube notifications out there to the people. YouTube is a little bit funky sometimes, and I know that I tried to stream earlier, so I don't know if it's going to even push out the notifications to the people that are subscribed to my channel. But if you could be so kind and click that like button, we're going to go ahead and just get started and listen to this quick little 2-minute video from Chief Frye in Moscow, Idaho. And then we're going to go through kind of some of the newer stuff that has come out in the last few hours. Nothing major, like I said, but definitely interesting nonetheless. So let's listen to Chief Frye's message that came out yesterday. This is their kind of press release. They've been doing a lot of these press releases through YouTube, and they feel just, I'll talk about it after, but they feel a little bit forced to me at this point. But let's just go ahead and see what he has to say.
Number of tips that have come in and leads.
We've had right around 10,000 tips come in. We're reviewing all those tips. We're checking to ensure that we have individuals who look at those tips and any piece of evidence that they can link to this case, they're doing so.
What about the video evidence? How is that reviewed? What do you do with it?
So we have a special team of individuals who are skilled at watching videos, collecting evidence and information out of those videos and linking them together so that we can tie every piece together for this investigation.
What do you have for an update about the white Hyundai Elantra?
We have many tips that have come in on the 2011 to the 2013 Hyundai Elantra. But what we're asking is anybody else who still hasn't sent in a tip, if you own one or if you know somebody who was driving one the day before or the day after, to please send that tip in.
What about the holidays? What does that mean for the investigation and all the people working on it?
That does not change anything for us. We're going to continue to push through the holidays. We have a team that will continue to do the investigation and work on that as we move through the holidays.
And finally, why is it important to keep video digital submissions part of the investigation as it's sorted through?
Well, as our individuals are sorting through that, all that information could be one key piece for this investigation. So they're reviewing all that, they're looking at that, and they're looking for any keys that tie together any specific investigative pieces that we need to solve this case.
Hi, dropshipper.
So that is kind of the update, and I just feel like at this point, obviously, they're not required to come out with a proper statement by any means, but I feel like I was expecting them to come out with some sort of a press conference prior to Christmas at the very least. I don't know what you guys think about that. I know that they did one right before Thanksgiving to kind of reassure people in the community, specifically the college students that were still there, that that they were going to be working through Thanksgiving. They had investigative resources that we're going to be around the clock throughout the holiday season. I figured that they would kind of reiterate that, maybe give a slight update just publicly. I know that they've been doing these videos, but it's like you would think that even though they clearly are still looking into the potential driver of the white Hyundai Elantra, and we'll get to that in a moment. It's just surprising to me that they didn't do a more formal public update. And I guess they probably could still. I mean, it's only the 20th. Maybe they'll call some press conference later in the week. I would imagine we would have heard about that by now if that was going to be the case. And so it's just a bit surprising to me. I don't know what to think of the whole situation with law enforcement. I know that there's a lot of people voicing their frustrations with law enforcement, thinking that they should have something by now, but it's like, I don't know. It either tells me I feel like they have something that they're really close to, or it's just taking so long to go through all these tips. I mean, they talked about having 10,000 plus tips. So I don't know. It's a lot. I would have liked to have seen some sort of public press conference prior. And while I say hey to everyone in the chat, we are going to go ahead and get up to date with the newest stuff from today. So this is News Nation's Brian Enton on the scene today. I'm going to go ahead and play this video. He tweeted and said, 2 investigators just showed up to the house in Moscow, Idaho, where the murders happened. They were carrying a black case and inside for about 20 minutes. So I'm going to play this video. Brian doesn't really do any speaking until the end of the video. So I'm going to play this while I'm saying hey to everyone in the chat. So Real McCoy, good to see you. Fooey, thank you so much for the 2. Fooey, love your channel. Fooey, thank you for being a viewer. And thank you for that too. There's the delayed notification there. Thank you so much, Fooey. Monica, good to see you. Tracy, hi. How's it going? How's it going? Tina, thanks for hitting the like button, Tina. Nina, off topic, but did they ever find the 2 guys in the case with Monkey? I can't remember his name. I don't know about the people in the Michael Vaughn case. That's a good question. I know that there were still probably some people out there. They had listed multiple people that they had connected, that were connected to it at that point. I don't know about that one. I don't think that they ever did, at least as of right now. Alicia in the house, good to see you. Essie, hello from Finland, good to see you. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this up.
Sir, can you tell us what you were looking for? Why you were back at the house? Do you know anything about the Hyundai Elantra found in Oregon?
So there you go. They're just kind of repeating the same shot of them coming out of the property under the caution tape. You can see Brian Enton there. They obviously aren't going to do a interview with Brian Enton in the middle of the snow with their box full of what I assume is more evidence or potential evidence. It makes you wonder what they were back there for. If they showed up with the black box, I mean, that could just be some of their own gear. Like they could be doing more documentation, 3D scans. I mean, there could be any number of things that they were using that they could have brought in their box. I don't know if they actually took a lot of physical evidence out and put it in the box. I'm not sure. But interesting nonetheless that there are people still in and out of the property. Bronze Barbie, hello, how's it going? I'm just going to play through this again. Ben, good to see you. Felicia, hello. Stephanie, good to see you. Hello from Australia. Sandy, good to see you. Nella in the house. Sylvia, RK, good to see you guys. Jordan, hi, how's it going? Sonia, hello. Coffee Buzz in the house, good evening. Juicy Jules. Just came in and hit the like. Okay, cool. Well, we are now at close to the 10-minute mark. So to the people that have joined and hit that like button, thank you so much. We're going to continue on with the stream. But yeah, so that's from earlier today. And then if you guys have been following the case, you'll know that the white Hyundai Elantra that they found near or in Eugene, Oregon, has now, I think, been ruled out. But there's still some kind of weird things with that, and we're going to get into that in a second. But this is what I'm talking about. If you aren't familiar, there was a crashed Hyundai Elantra found in Oregon, right outside of a Panda Express, it looks like, which is basically the exact make and model of the vehicle that they are looking for. A lot of people thought that it could be connected to the Idaho murders, but according to Brian Enton, the latest from Eugene, Oregon police regarding the Hyundai located, it says at 5:19 a.m. on December 17th. So that would have been, what, Saturday? Yeah, Saturday the 17th. A person was reported sleeping inside the vehicle. It was a Hyundai Elantra. Officers responded to the call at West 7th Place and Sanisa Road, and contact was made. There was no further report. His second tweet goes on to say, "We have no information to indicate the vehicle is related to the Moscow, Idaho case. However, they were sent the vehicle information, so they have it to review." So I don't know. Some people are telling me, and Reddit is telling me now, that the Elantra is not connected to the murders, not related to Moscow. Person found sleeping. No info indicates it's related. There is some videos going around of it potentially being connected to the people that own the property. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but we're going to watch this quick little theory from the YouTuber The Pascal Show, which I've seen him before, I believe during the Brian Laundrie Gabby Petito case. I'm going to play this really quick. Once again, everything we go through on this channel, it's we're just diving into these different theories, and it's all speculation at this point. I don't know if there's anything to this, but we'll go ahead and play it.
He was a former resident, okay? He was a former resident, okay, of 1122 King. I guess his name was Brian. I'll just say that, okay? He also lived in Eugene. And of course, he said he doesn't know if that's relevant or if that relates to the car. But then there's something else that he found. The owner of 1122 King lives in Colorado. The LLC owned by the owner of 1122 King is allegedly the same LLC that owns the car. It was
So it's all alleged. I don't know if this is true even. But apparently the owner of the buildings, some of the buildings in that area, including 1122 King Street, where the homicides took place, is the same owner or maybe the same LLC connected to the owner of this Hyundai Elantra in Eugene. I don't know if there's any truth to this. They don't completely say that it's not true in these tweets that Brian's talking about. He just says there's no more information to indicate that the vehicle is related to Moscow, but everything has been sent. And so I'm sure they're going to process all that. It is definitely a little confusing because you've got people saying it's not related at all. However, I don't know. You've got stuff like that coming out, and it's a little bit strange. But yeah, this is the statement from the Eugene, Oregon Police Department. They said, "We have no information to indicate it is related." This is what Brian basically said. "We sent the vehicle information to Moscow, Idaho, so they have it to review." So, yeah. Wait, what's going on in Colorado? What's going on in Colorado? What happened in Colorado Springs? That used to be my home. What's going on in Colorado Springs? Hold on. Colorado Springs news. Wildfires? Oh, is that what you're referring to? Unfortunate if that's what you're talking about. If not, let me know. We'll get back to this in a little bit. This is a daily discussion from the subreddit, the Idaho Murders subreddit. I try to follow these every day. I mean, some of the people in here are obviously super glued to the case, and they can really like divvy out the information in a good way like this. We'll pop back to this in a moment. One of the things, this is another thing, Xana Kernodle's family has set up a scholarship endowment in her name, so that's cool. There's an update on that. This person on the subreddit 18 hours ago says, let me read this. "Kaylee and Maddie night at the corner club prior to the murders. In light of the new video/audio footage where Maddie is heard saying, quote, 'Like I told Adam everything. I am curious what, if anything, has been disclosed about the hours Kaylee and Maddie spent at the corner club prior to the murders. I understand A is a bartender there, but has that been confirmed?' She's referring to Adam. "Has any information been disclosed about what the girls did at the bar that night, who they were hanging with, if a conversation did in fact occur between Adam and Maddie that night, what was discussed?" Obviously, we don't know, what was said. This person says, to be clear, I'm not trying to cast the Corner Club in a negative light. It sounds like a very popular and excellent bar that is an institution in the community, but reality is 2 of the victims spent their entire night there prior to the murders, and Maddie possibly had a conversation with a bartender there. So it's important to get the details on their time at the Corner Club. Look, it is 100% without a doubt, if they spent, regardless of how much time they spent at the Corner Club, they definitely have as much as they can from that incident. They've got cameras at the Corner Club. This is just one of the images on the Google page for the Corner Club. And I can already see 2 cameras right here. One facing, it looks like the back door, at least an exit of some sort back here. That's this camera here. And then I don't know what this door goes to, whether it's restrooms or the kitchen or something. And then you've got another camera facing this area. And I've gone through the other photos from the Corner Club, and it's not a huge place. It's not a massive building. So I would imagine, regardless of where they ended up hanging out inside the bar, at one point they were likely on camera. Whether or not you could hear what they were saying or not in a loud bar, I don't know. But if they were with the which one would it be? Showalter, if that's who they were with, leaving, they would have gotten a better understanding, law enforcement would, with that footage, by, looking at that footage of them at the bar. I think a lot of people's kind of suspicions around Jack S, they were a little bit, I don't know what the word is, but I think people are a little less suspicious of him after having seen the footage of them walking, which is what we're going to go through next. We're kind of recapping the last few days. But this is the footage of them walking back from the Corner Club. And this is the hoodie guy. This is the guy seen in the footage at the food truck, which obviously he seemed pretty suspicious at that time. I know everyone was really reading into the body language of Maddie and Kaylee, thinking maybe there was something going on there. But honestly, seeing them walk here, I mean, they're walking along with him. He's chatting. He's clearly, they're talking to one another. I don't think that I'm as suspicious of this hoodie guy as I once was, just because of this footage here. So let's listen in on what they say in the actual video. This is from my video yesterday. So if you haven't seen the video yet, I'm just going to kind of scrub through it and show you guys this exact location where they're walking. But first, let's listen to what they say. Okay, so once again, I'm going to let that play through. It almost sounds like she says Mads, like Maddie. What did you tell Adam?
What did you say to Adam? I told Adam everything.
So I don't know if it was Kaylee asking Maddie, what did you tell Adam? And then it's Kaylee responding saying, I told Adam everything. I'm not sure. But once again, seeing this play out and hearing it, I'm not as suspicious as I once was about hoodie guy. Real quick, Chris Davis, good to see you. Less suspicious of him now. Yeah, I agree with you, Chris. Carol, good to see you. Hannah, good to see you. D, Elizabeth, they're so young and naive. Alf, I agree. It's hard to believe that this was just a couple hours before it all took place. Cheryl, yes, we are back and we are live. Thank you to the 267 people in here. If you haven't already, tap that like button. It really helps out the stream. We tried to go live earlier today, and so I think YouTube probably is not sending as many notifications out in my second effort. But I want to show you guys, if you didn't see my video from yesterday, the That's my voice. I'm going to mute myself. The actual location from the security camera footage, I lined it up, and this is the exact building you can see here in the background. This is, I think, the Moscow Water Works building, I believe is what it's called. There's not very many buildings that have this kind of pointed shape. Let me go ahead and move myself here down. But as you can see, the footage that they were in would have been walking along this sidewalk here. And you can actually see the awning in the video matches up perfectly underneath this awning. It's kind of hard to see in the actual security footage, but that's it there. And then you can actually see the corner club back here in the background, but they would have been walking directly underneath the awning. The actual camera that would have caught them would have been this camera right here. And so that's, I think, the camera that was filming them. And they would have been walking right underneath there to the south towards the food truck. So there's the corner club. Once again, they would have been walking this direction. This is the building in the background that you see here. Once again, obviously it's not lit up at night, so you can't quite see. It doesn't look like the same colored panels or window panes, but you can tell the shape of it. And then they would have been moving, basically they would have been right in front of the St. Andrews College North building. They would have been moving directly south past this Humble Burger Lodge pole place, basically a restaurant, which you can see the corner club is basically right here. It's just out of frame. So they would have walked across the street, Highway 95, walked south on Main Street in this direction during the video down to roughly 4th Street, which is, I think, about where they said the food trucks were, which is right around the farmer's market, I think they said. So yeah, once again, that's the actual location. If you didn't see yesterday's video, that gives you kind of an idea of where they were at during that video. The corner club, once again, now that I have Google Maps open, it's right here. I mean, it's right there. That's that building that I showed you in the background. And so they probably would have just crossed right here. And then that video that filmed them would have been from this camera way back here, right there. So like I was saying earlier, the cameras inside the corner club likely captured a lot of, what they were doing in there. I mean, they probably were just having some drinks and chatting, but you would have gotten a much better idea. There's probably some cameras on the outside of the corner club that they absolutely have access to already as well. Knowing early on in the case that this was one of the key spots, key locations that we know of with 2 of our 4 victims, I imagine law enforcement got the corner club's security camera footage very quickly. I don't know if this is a camera up here, but I imagine that there's got to be one on the outside of the building, at least one. So it's safe to say, I don't know if that's one up there, if that's a drain. It's safe to say that there is definitely some footage from the corner club that, that they're sitting on that they don't have. D says, I wish I could travel back in time. Yeah, I would. I'll be honest. I'd love to be a fly in the wall at the corner club and to see, what conversations were happening, those kinds of things. I don't know if it's true or not, but Adam, who worked at the corner club, was apparently roommates with Jack D, the ex-boyfriend. I think this right here is Adam. I don't know much about him, but I believe he was the one at the at the bar that they are maybe referring to. Once again, I believe he was a roommate of Jack D, the ex-boyfriend. So, and we're going to get to this image in a little bit. But before that, we're going to go through a couple more things. I'm going to read some of your guys' comments here. Let's see. I'm just going to loop this video while I'm going through the comments. Grunge Truck says he went through the woods, I bet. Jordan, hey, do you think it was a student that committed these murders? Do you think it was just a kill? Right now, I'm leaning towards a student, if I'm being honest. We're going to get to the body camera footage from the incident, the noise complaint incident here momentarily. But I lean towards student that knew this location. Donna, I have a daughter same age, about to graduate college, and this breaks my heart into a million pieces. Yeah. I can't even imagine. Right before the holidays too. Cheryl says, after seeing footage of the house and the area where it is where to park, whomever it or they were familiar with it. Yeah, whoever it was, I think they're familiar with it as well. Very good mic on the camera. Yeah, I think, there's a lot of exterior cameras that don't record audio, but I think that particular one, I mean, obviously it did. It's more of a consumer grade camera as opposed to a super high end exterior security camera. I actually have a camera very similar to it, and it records really good audio. There's been some chatter today about previous audio as they turn the corner. Have you checked it? I have not, Chris. I have not. I have not seen any other audio. I know that in the actual video of them walking, you can hear them say something prior to them talking about telling Adam everything or whatever they said, but you can't really make out what they say. Okay, so continuing on, we're going to go ahead and we're going to watch this little video from News Nation, and then we're gonna go through the body cam footage from the noise complaint. So let's watch this real quick.
Fox Digital, he said this, quote, now they're reaching out and they're going to look to the community to see if this individual borrowed this car. Neither Steve Gonsalves nor the police have explicitly said that it was the killer driving the Elantra that night, only that this person or person inside the car likely have critical information about the case. So we also don't know exactly what they meant by borrowed, whether they're saying the car was lent to somebody or maybe stolen. But if they find that car, could the digital forensics actually help pinpoint exactly where that was that all night, like where the car ended up being all night? Because that would be huge, right, if they could do that? So I want to bring in John Naccarato. He analyzes crime and justice under the name Johnny Law. He spent 25 years as a crime scene reconstructionist, specializing in blood spatter, office-involved shootings and cold cases. He's also a nationally certified traffic crash reconstructionist. This is so great to talk to you because I want to ask you, if they find that car, 2011 to 2013, Johnny, is there even enough digital technology in a vehicle of that era to provide any kind of forensic clues, like the GPS that's sometimes in the engine? Not so much the GPS that's up on the dashboard that we get to use to navigate, but that would tell where the car goes and where it's been.
You know, that year of car, it's kind of on the cutting edge of when the technology started to come out, right? 2006, they started getting GPS and those kind of systems. And so this year of car, this 2011, 2013, even the in-dash systems, most of those weren't installed in the Elantras. The ones that I looked at, it was just a regular AM, FM radio. Some had a satellite button on them. But that's really because they're a location-based service, right? They're there to guide you on where to go, tell you where the restaurants are, the next gas station. They're a service-based. So that's really where the technology would come in.
Okay, if they don't find this car, are they dead in the water here in this investigation? Because it feels like this is all they have.
I don't think so. The forensic evidence is still coming back. I think the forensics is gonna solve this case. What happened on the inside of that house, on the outside, that's really gonna help solve this case. Now, if this is a car, this car is definitely a point of interest for law enforcement, right? They've gotten some kind of statement or witness that narrowed this car down to this specific range, right? A 2010 looks way different than a 2011. A 2014 looks a lot different than a 2013. So whatever information they got to kind of pinpoint this car, they really need to drill down on that and try to find out anything they can on where this car has been. And it's a big task where they have 20-something thousand cars that are these Elantras, right? But if you start to kind of dive down to the VIN numbers of these cars, you can actually see if this car was made in Korea on a 2013, did it come in the color white? If it didn't come in the color white, then you can start to rule out different things on the VIN numbers.
So very interesting there talking to that guy. Obviously, law enforcement has a pretty solid reason to give that exact range, the specific model, right? Because it's not exactly clear to me that the footage that was seen, and I see some of your guys' comments asking where this car was spotted. I'm about to pull it up again for you guys so you can see the exact location. I don't know if they're referring to, we don't know if the exact Elantra, the tip that came out, was based on the footage that later came out a few days later. The actual footage that came out in front of essentially the food mart would have been roughly right here. So the house is over here where the homicides took place. The actual shot of the car, which let me pull that up real quick, right here. This shot right here is the actual footage that they're referring to, the food mart. So this is what they're saying is likely maybe the Hyundai Elantra that they had put a be on the lookout for days prior. So is this the Hyundai Elantra? I don't even know if this is the Hyundai Elantra. I've actually gone through and rematched a few different cars that I think are really close to this one here. And I'm going to show you guys that in a second. But this is where it's at in relation to where the homicides took place. Specifically, the street view would have been this camera up here, angled right here. That is the actual spot that I believe the car was traveling in this direction to the east. If we actually go through, we can we can scrub through, and I've actually lined up a Hyundai Elantra with this one here. So if we scrub through, you can see this is a 2013 Hyundai Elantra. And if I just kind of scrub through this, it's really, really close. I think, like the guy was saying in the video, as the car, like a 2010 Hyundai Elantra looks wildly different than a 2011. They just, all of a sudden, they start looking a little bit different. I personally have an older Hyundai Elantra, and it doesn't quite look like this one here. It looks a little bit older. It's just on that outside of that range that he was referring to. It has a more kind of Prius look. These are a little bit longer and kind of sleeker looking than the older Hyundai Elantras. But the things that stick out to me and what I talked about in the last stream is this window back here. Obviously this photo that we have isn't quite as tinted looking, but the actual shape of the back part of the window here really lines up really closely with the Hyundai Elantra. The headlight looks a little bit weird, but it's also super long. And that's how the Hyundai Elantra is. It's a very long front to back kind of headlight, front lights. And then, yeah, I mean, you're not going to get the exact dimensions correct, but everything else is lining up pretty closely as well. Even this tail light, kind of the way it wraps around the side of the car, that's pretty close. So if we look at the other cars that I think are similar, and I actually saw this car parked in my apartment complex, was a Kia Forte. Now, I don't know if this car is the Hyundai that they're referring to, but it also kind of looks like a Kia Forte. So I figured I'd line that up. I think it still looks a little more like a Hyundai, but this back window is what I'm looking at, and I think that that's really similar. Also, it's kind of hard to tell, but I feel like the mirror on the car, like right here, I feel like it might have like a dark paint job underneath it, almost like this little black piece right here, if that makes sense. But yeah, the headlights definitely look a little different. It's close, but once again, I don't know. I don't know if that's it. Obviously, I think it's probably the. Let's see. So yeah, there's the Hyundai. I guess it's only these two that I was thinking of. I think it's leaning towards the Hyundai for sure. Oops, there we go. But yeah, the visual overlay, thank you. Yeah, I like it too. It definitely helps. I added the actual text on these this time too for people that are rewatching. I don't know. It really looks. It looks a lot like the Hyundai. The Tesla, I see some people talking about Tesla. I mean, let me just show you. It would be like a Tesla Model 3. Probably not quite the same. The window on a Model 3. Yeah, it kind of has that look. I see what you're talking about there. This little area back here kind of looks similar. I don't know though. I don't know if it looks like a Tesla to me, but yeah, where was I at? I just spaced. So yeah, that's the footage of the car lined up. We'll go through that again in a second. What a lot of people are like up in arms about right now is this photo of what I believe, or what a lot of people believe, is Jack D, ex-boyfriend Jack. There's a lot of different Jacks, but if this is actually the ex-boyfriend in this image, a lot of people have been referring to this car down here, saying that it looks a lot like a Hyundai Elantra. And it does. It looks a lot like one. Let me find the actual. I think they flip it. Yeah, so they flip it right here to show you that the actual and I keep referring to this window back here, where the angle of this glass, I think it's really, really close. I don't know. What do you guys think? That angle. And so this is at a house that is very, very close to where the homicides took place. Jack supposedly lived there at one point or another. If we go to the actual Google Maps, this is the house where the homicides took place, and the actual house that apparently Jack and Adam, the bartender that they spoke with at the corner club, lived at this house at one point or another as well. And if you look, you can see the angle of the roof is spot on. So Jack would have been, if that is Jack in the footage, he would have been up here on the roof, and then you can see the kind of angled where the garages are at over here. Let me try to, yeah, you can see it right there. That would be that down there. One thing, it does look like that same car almost in the driveway. But then I also noticed this one. This kind of looks like a similar car as well. But like, look how close it is. And if you guys are wondering, I did see Crime Circus's video. I never really followed Crime Circus, but I thought it was a fantastic video talking about Jack D, the ex-boyfriend, and how interesting the whole story is around him. I'll just say that. Let me read some of your guys' comments, and then we'll get back to it. We're going to listen to the interview, the very strange interview with Brian Enton and the vape shop manager that came out a few days ago. I have yet to go through this. This came out right after we streamed last time. So we're going to play this very weird interview, and we'll go through that. Sorry, I'm just trying to size everything up here. But let me see what you guys' comments are saying here. Looks similar. Okay. Jack D drives a red Jeep. Interesting. Okay. Drip Drop is the man. It's not the same car as the gas station. Okay. Merp, good to see you. Look at all the garage in that yard. Yeah. Hard to believe that video alone is what alerted them to look for that car. Good ways from crime scene too. No. So that's where it's confusing. The video footage right here is not what alerted them for people to be on the lookout for a Hyundai Elantra. That's where it's confusing, you guys. The Hyundai Elantra, the Bolo, the be on the lookout for the Hyundai Elantra came out days before this footage was released. Days before the clerk that was at this, store was going through old footage and found this. It was because this be on the lookout had already been issued to the public that he or she working at this, whatever this food mart, gas station, beer spot is, it was the be on the lookout that prompted them to let law enforcement know, hey, I'm looking through the footage. I see this car. It's a car that, you guys are referring to and you're be on the lookout. It looks similar. So this isn't the car that tipped off law enforcement. That's what's strange about this. I want to know what did law enforcement find out and when to actually put the be on the lookout for this Hyundai Elantra. They clearly had something prior to all this. And I don't know if it was other body cam footage that isn't released yet, maybe from around the time of the drunk incident. Which, speaking of, we're going to actually, before we watch that weird vape shop manager interview, we're going to go through these videos from these incidents. Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place, but there was a few incidents from earlier. But yeah, I just wanted to reiterate, it wasn't that footage that alerted cops to the Hyundai. I know it's kind of confusing. All right, so we're going to look through and listen through these body cam footage from back in September. So months before these homicides took place, September 1st, I believe, is when this took place. There was a noise complaint incident that happened at 112 King Street. And I don't know, a lot of you guys have seen this already, but we're going to listen to it. It's very strange.
Hey ladies, how's it going?
Oh, good. How are you?
Good.
We're not actually. I don't know who lives here. No, I don't.
Here for noise complaint.
So I'm going to pause it. Sorry. The body cam footage immediately confronts a few females walking through what looks like the parking lot or near the house. They immediately ask, do you know who lives here? And the girls say no. So and then the cops basically say, we're just here for a noise complaint. So this was a noise complaint call. Nobody seems to know who lives at this house, by the way. It's very strange.
Yeah, they did. You don't Hey, who's the owner or who lives here?
I can go get them real quick.
Okay, thank you, please. Hey, ladies.
So that was the first of 4 videos that Brian tweets. One thing to keep in mind in this video, and they say that, Brian says it, when they're walking up to the house, I mean, you can hear the partying and the music as they're walking up. So it kind of goes to show that it's a pretty paper thin house. Obviously, it was loud enough for people to call it in. Dees has a good question. Who called in the noise complaint, right? I mean, if there were parties this often, what would 9/1 of 2020 have been? 2022, rather. September 1st, 2022. That would have been a Thursday night. So I don't know. I guess maybe some people were still studying and it was pre-weekend and some people were getting the party started early. But you would imagine, I don't know how many people are calling in house parties in this area. I feel like a lot of people that live in this area probably are, partying as well. But yeah, the second video shows this.
Search.
We're only here for a noise complaint. Come to the damn door.
Search. I just ring the doorbell.
Whoever lives here needs to come talk to us, or we're going to start doing a lot more than just deal with noise.
I will go tell them.
Yeah, just tell them to come to the front door. We'll deal with the noise complaint, and we'll leave. Yep, thank you.
Yep.
So clearly no one wanting to come to the door. A house full of partiers, no one wanting to speak to the cops.
Come to the door, guys. Send whoever lives here down to the door. Not leaving. We can also see you. Yeah. For the most part. They're scared.
Oh my God.
So they're scared. Obviously, there was a guy outside the back or the side of the house. Law enforcement was able to make contact with him and say, hey, can you just send whoever is the owner of the house downstairs to speak with us? We're just here for a noise complaint, so on and so forth. Clearly, no one was interested in speaking with law enforcement. In the next section, there are two guys that come to the door. I know that there are some people talking about this car here, and I want to address this first. First and foremost, the car that they are walking up next to, some people are saying, there it is, there's the white Hyundai Elantra. And I will tell you without a shadow of a doubt, this is not a Hyundai Elantra. This is a Chevy Cruze, I believe. With almost 100% certainty, this car that is parked here is a Chevy Cruze. First of all, that back part of the back window that we've been referring to time and time again with what we believe is the Elantra, this is not the same angled glass. So as you can see in the Elantra, it scoops up a little bit more right here. This one is much flatter. And then the same thing with the tail light. I'm going to move this over here. This is an eBay listing for a tail light for a Chevy Cruze. And if I go ahead and move myself, whoops. This is identical in terms of the shape of the tail light to this vehicle here. And this right here is a 2015, I believe, Chevy Cruze. So this, while it is interesting and it stands out at first, you're like, wow, that could be the Hyundai right there that they're referring to months later. It's not. A lot of people are saying yes, it's Maddie's Chevy. I had heard that Maddie or one of them drove a Chevy. So yeah, it is not the same Hyundai Elantra that people are talking about. Okay, so the fourth video. This is where it gets a little bit interesting. We finally have a couple people that come to the door.
So I just looked for everyone that lived here, and they're not here right now.
No one's here that lives at all.
No one's here that lives.
So
here.
everyone here is trespassing?
Well, no one's here that's trespassing, but no one that lives here is here right now.
So where'd they go?
They're just not here. I have no clue where they went. No clue.
So you guys just throwing a party in their house at this time?
At one point, they're not here right now. I just searched all the rooms.
They left and went over to some other party, and everyone is about to leave and go over to another party.
Okay. Who does live here? What are their names?
I am actually not sure. I live across the street.
Live across the street, huh? I get when people are partying like this definitely happens where no one wants to say anybody's name. Like everyone just wants to, no one wants to get in any trouble, right? But this is wildly suspicious to me. Not that these guys are suspicious dudes, but it's so obvious that they just didn't want to talk about who lives there. This guy lives across the street. He keeps referring to the owners of the house as they, and he even says they just left. So he clearly must have been at the house when they left to go to another house and go to another party. So he knows who they are. So does he just know what they look like and he knew that they left to go to this other party? It makes no sense. He and they, these two dudes, probably know who lives at the house. I think that they're just trying to not say names, because if it does come back on the girls at the house, they're going to go, well, why did you give us, why did you give them our names, or whatever. No one likes to give names when they're being talked to by the cops. So I don't buy it that these guys don't know who these girls are, but it is weird that they're all at this house and nobody at the house seems to be there. And it's even weirder what they say next, and I'll talk about it in a second.
I just came over. I haven't drank a drop.
Male, female?
I think it's mainly females. I think it's like 4 females.
What sorority are they affiliated with?
I don't know.
I don't know if they're associated with it. I don't know.
So I guarantee you they're associated with the sorority. As many of them are living here at some off-campus sorority house. I've been a cop for 22 years here. I'm not stupid. Don't play dumb games with me. I'd rather deal with this as a noise complaint than getting a hold of the Greek council and the Greek board and all of that and the students and playing all these stupid fucking games. Do you? I don't know. Quick question. Because I guarantee you, there's a lot of underage drinking because they left their alcohol behind. Do you want us to try and get a name or a phone number and if we can call someone? We just need to talk to somebody who lives here, because otherwise I have to be under the assumption you guys are unlawfully entered because no one who lives here is here. Okay. Right? We'll go. So I need to verify that there was a party here. Now everyone laughs. We'll go get a phone number. We'll be right back. Sorry, we're not trying to make your life. I understand. I just letting you know this is how it's going to play out. I'm not going anywhere until I talk to somebody. We'll be right back.
You guys mind just leaving the door open for us? That way we can get some sort of communication between us and them. We're not going to come in.
No. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. I know. I do.
And hey guys, really, we're just coming here for noise complaint. Okay, so we understand y'all drinking.
The reason I apologize for no one coming to the door. The issue was we were trying to find the.
Everyone's kind of freaked out because cops are here. You guys are having a good time. Right?
Once again, they're trying to find the owners. And also, these guys say they don't know. They immediately are like, I don't, because the cops ask what sorority are they affiliated with. That would be a good way of tracking down potentially who lives there, right? Off-campus sorority houses. These guys try to like brush it off as, oh, I don't know that they're even in a sorority. And these cops are like, come on. This is like, we're right next to Greek Row. Like, this is an off-campus sorority house. This is 100%. These guys knew what sorority they're in. These guys didn't just go to a random house party not knowing what sorority. I mean, it's likely these sorority fraternities have different affiliations with each other. They had to have known what sorority that these girls were involved in. I don't buy it at all. But yes, this is not, no. So John, this is the house. Yes, it's not a sorority. And the girls belong to different sororities. That's fine. An off-campus sorority house doesn't need to mean the actual sorority, the big house. There are houses that are affiliated with sororities that are smaller, that seniors or different members of the sorority will leave the actual sorority house and they'll live with sorority members off campus or outside of the actual sorority house. If that makes sense, it'll be kind of like a sponsored house that the sorority either like pays for or that they all go in on. But yeah, it's definitely not the sorority house, obviously. There could just be a few of the sorority sisters that live within that house, and it can be mixed too, depending on the locations. Okay, so this is the final of the 4 videos. I'm going to watch this one. I'm going to get your guys' input. But the crazy thing is, and I thought there was something that was said in the last one. It must be said in this one that raises a serious red flag. And I'm going to just go ahead and say it now. I think the guys that are in the house essentially say, and I saw some of your guys' comments saying that the girls, or at least some of the owners, were in that house for sure. I don't know. If they weren't, and there was just people partying in this house, they eventually say, we're about to leave. We're going to be leaving. So does that mean that they just leave the house unlocked? Because that's another thing with this whole story. It's like, who knows how, in this town, if people would just leave things unlocked all the time. I mean, if these people were here with none of the owners present and they were going to all leave to go to a different house party, did one of them have a key? Did one of them have a key to lock the door behind them? I don't understand it. So I think they say that in this video. We'll play this and then we'll keep going.
This is Officer Welsh from Moscow Police Department. Who am I speaking with? Maddie, 1 second. Let me turn the volume up on this phone here.
People want to be dumb.
All right, can you hear me, Maddie?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Do you live at 1122 Queen Street?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So, hey, the reason that we're here is that we received a noise complaint of loud music, partying, okay? Once we approached the house, people started running away. They left a bunch of alcohol behind. We're not even coming for alcohol. We're coming for the noise complaint. And then we sat here for approximately 10 minutes trying to knock on the door. No one would come to the door until these 2 gentlemen came down and actually answered the door. So,
Gotcha.
and what's your first name? Maddie?
Could be maybe.
And how do you spell that, Maddie?
My legal name is Madison. It's Madison.
What's your middle name, Madison?
May, May.
Okay. What's your last name?
Mogen, Mogen.
Mogen?
Yep.
Okay. What's your date of birth, Madison? Okay. And what's your current address?
1122 King Road.
Okay. And are you a student at
Once again, I'm going to play the last couple seconds. You can hear the cop talking with the 2 people or 3 people in the background. I assume the guys that answered the phone. You can hear the cop say, "So are you a Sigma Chi, or are you in a fraternity?" You can hear one of the men or one of the gentlemen say, "I'm a Sigma Chi." Just thought I'd point that out.
And is what's your current address?
1122
It's right
King
here.
Road.
So I think you guys are Sigma Chi.
Okay.
I'm a Sigma Chi.
And are you? And are you?
I'm a Sigma Chi.
And
I'm a Sigma Chi.
and are you?
So we know that they're Sigma Chi. These are the kinds of guys that like 5 minutes ago would have said that they don't know what fraternity they're in. I mean, they're like speaking with the cops. They're a little less stressed about these 2 cops being there, these 3 cops being there. These guys know what sorority these girls are affiliated with. They're clearly like loosening up with the officers that are there just for a noise complaint. But anyways, what are your guys' thoughts? Do you think the girls were in the house at this point? Maddie honestly sounds pretty coherent. I know that I've definitely gotten a phone call where I've been under the influence and I've been able to like sound a little, you can always like make yourself sound a little less drunk, if that makes sense. So maybe she was just really putting on her like sober voice for this phone call, but to me she sounded pretty sober in this call. But I'm gonna play the rest of it out. Guys, if you haven't already, tap that like button. There's 523 people in here, 175 likes. If you could be so kind as to tap that like button. It is free to do so, and it helps get the YouTube live stream out to more potential subscribers. Thank you.
Student at U of I?
Yep.
Okay.
I will graduate with a bachelor's. I'm still getting my master's.
All right, Madison. So here's the deal, okay? They've already said that no one here lives, none of the occupants that live at this address are here right now. So now you have a house full of random people. You need to let them know that the noise needs to come down, okay? We just received a noise complaint. We want that music turned down. And we don't want to come back again tonight. If we have to come back again tonight, then there's going to be even more problems, okay?
I see both sides.
Sounds good. I'm just frustrated. I'm also so sorry once again.
If I were you guys, I'd probably just come home and make sure that whoever is partying here is keeping it down to a minimum, okay?
Yeah, we're going to take all of them.
Okay. So at this point, we're going to leave, okay? And again, if I have to come back later tonight, like I said, I just want to express that there's going to be some citation.
So that was the last of the videos. There's actually one more that's a separate video that I'll play real quick. It's 30 seconds long of the 3 guys, I imagine, from the other body cam footage. So I'm going to play this real quick, and then we will continue on. But a lot of you are saying that Bethany, I think her name is Funk, one of the other roommates, I believe, is the one that may have actually answered the door in the first clip. So we're going to compare the photo of Bethany to the initial person that answered the door. I think that likely one of the roommates that was a resident at the house probably was there. I don't think that they were all just gone, but they could have been. So we'll compare the photos in a moment. Let's just watch this quick one.
Just remind people that we can be fairly reasonable, but when people want to be dumb, we have a tendency to be assholes.
You hear me, Maddie?
And
This is my shit, so I don't know.
well, yeah, this is abandoned property, so we're dumping it and going to walk away.
Sure is.
They're going to leave their alcohol when they see us and run away. They abandon it.
The reason that we're here is that
I don't know how the fuck people drink this anyway.
of loud music, police department.
So yeah, you get an idea of once again what I believe is the Chevy Cruze parked out front. We're getting more of like the hood view of it, and then whoever, I don't know what bag this is or whose booze it is that they're about to pour out, but yeah. One thing real quick, I'm going to go back to the initial video and I'm going to compare. A lot of you guys said that, or I heard a lot of people say that they think that this girl here is Bethany Funk. Now, I don't know. I don't have a really solid photo. In fact, I don't really have a great photo at all. But That's the photo I have of Bethany there with Maddie. It definitely doesn't not look like her. It's hard to say. The first thing they should have done is said, "What's your name?" But then again, that's not a super solid way of going about. Just they're trying to go about it in a way that doesn't frighten these people and make them think they're in terrible trouble. But what do you think? Do you think that this looks like Bethany here on the left? Let me know. I think it does. I think there was a better photo that I had, a screenshot that I don't have right now of the person answering the door, and I think it looks like her. This is a pretty blurry version of that, but pretty similar. Anyways, pretty similar. All right, so we're gonna listen to the footage with Brian Enton and the vape shop employee momentarily. I'm gonna read some of your guys' comments. Thank you for 200 likes. We have 200 likes in the house. We have 27,610 subscribers. So if you want to subscribe, maybe we can get to 28,000 by the end of the stream. How about that? If you're enjoying the stream, tap that like button and the subscribe button. I will come back to this later and we will see if we've gotten 390 new subs. If there are, of the 470, if there are new people that would like to join, please tap that sub button. We're going to get to that video in a second. I'm going to look at some of your guys' comments now. But yeah, YouTube is asking me if I would like to place an ad now. No, I do not want to place an ad now. Thank you. New features. Okay. Is one of those guys who answered the door also at the food truck? Ricky, I'm not quite sure. I'd have to look back at the food truck video. Hard to say. I will have to check that out a little bit later, though. I think the Truth and Transparency is the one that matched them up and came to the conclusion that is definitely her. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I think it definitely looks like her. Same shirt, same style shirt, hair, nose, etc. One guy looked familiar from the field drunk stop body cam. Oh, interesting. Then again, not to be like rude or anything, because I am also just a very normal looking white guy. It's Idaho. It's a lot of normal looking, plain looking white guys, right? So I've seen a lot of photos throughout this case, throughout the different Instagram accounts, and it's a lot of really similar looking people. But I'll definitely have to go back and look at that drunk band video and see if any of those guys actually look like a solid match or if they just kind of look like similar. Ain't that the white car they were looking for, says Flossie. I don't know if you're referring to this one or if you are on the delay of the stream, but if you're referring to the white car that they walk by on the way up, no, this is a Chevy Cruze. I believe that this is a Chevy Cruze based on the eBay account. If you're delayed in the stream, you'll see later what I'm referring to. But no, that is not the Hyundai. Mike, I blocked the blah, 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 wait. There's an individual that's annoying. Okay. Well, hopefully that the individual is not being annoying anymore. Has anyone debunked the car that was found in Oregon? Yeah. I don't know if anyone's fully debunked that, but some people are saying that there's potentially a match to the person that owns the house. So I don't know. Not so dumb blonde. Darn it, didn't know you were live. Yeah, I tried to go live earlier today at about 2 o'clock, and my internet decided to go out. And so I don't know if YouTube's giving people notifications for my second attempt to go live. So that's why I'm asking that people tap that like button. It helps notify other subscribers. In the drive straight ahead next to the house. Oh, you're talking about this one here. This is similar to the one that they're looking for, I believe. Yeah, this one here. It's definitely similar, and it looks just like the one in the background of this photo. of Jack D, I believe Jack D, chugging a beer on the roof. That is the most college thing you could do. I bet he had such an exciting time doing that. And then they flipped the actual image of the car that's in this shot here to compare it to the vehicle that was seen in the security camera footage. So I don't know. What do you guys think? I think it looks really similar, but yeah, who knows? Flossie. Yeah, it's the Chevy. They were scared because of the underage drinkers. Yeah. Honestly, guys, I don't know how much they crack down. I mean, I think they crack down heavily on underage drinking. The biggest thing is not driving. That's the dumbest stuff you can do. I feel like people need to realize, like, getting somebody coming by for a noise complaint, I don't know, in a college town like that, I guess it's Idaho. Maybe they do crack down pretty heavy on drinking if they catch you underage. But it seemed like the cops in the footage from the band field video seemed very chill. I don't even know if he took the beers from the guys. I think the guys proved that they were of age, though, so I don't know. This definitely looks similar to me, though. I know we're seeing a top angle, but white cars there are as popular as potatoes. Very nice. And they're all named Jack. Yeah. Very basic looking guys, and they're all named Jack. None of those kids were driving. Yeah, exactly. So that's another thing. D, that's what I'm referring to, is that they were also terrified to like answer the door for this noise complaint. And it's like, I really don't think that these cops are going to come busting down the door and IDing everybody. I think the owner of the house should have just come forward and said, hey, you know, we're here. We'll settle down. Okay. Now I'm going to play this video. I'm going to play half of it and then we'll chat about it. But this is the interview that Brian Enton of News Nation had with the vape shop manager. This is an interesting one.
What he told me. So Kaylee and Maddie would both come in very happy, very friendly. You know, they always were just such a smile on their face.
Also, I know that this is fairly old, like I was referring to earlier, or saying earlier. This came out literally right after we live streamed last time, so I was unable to cover it until now.
Face, just like pretty much you would say they're the light of the world, pretty much. You know, always happy, go lucky. They always came in just chatting. They always came with a group, like I said. They probably, I'd say 4 or 5 girls at most, all the time. They come in together. And I made a joke about it earlier. It was like, you know, hey, you know, coming together and stuff like that. You know, just, you know, it's nice to see you girls trying to stay safe. One of them more or less openly says, oh yeah, we've had a friend of ours be stalked before, so this is kind of why we all travel in a group like this. And just was it Kaylee who said that? Do you remember? No, it was Maddie who actually said that. So Maddie said it, and it was kind of like more mentioning, like motioning to Kaylee too, like who was right next to her. So you could tell that like they obviously all were trying to keep Kaylee safe, you know, and to be there for her as good friends. And then yeah, to know that a few weeks later, now I won't see them, you know, anymore, anything like that. So it's crazy.
How long before the murder about was that?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks beforehand, because I was telling them I hope they had a good Thanksgiving break and everything like that too, because I didn't know if I'd see them again. So, because with a lot of the times with the kids, with the way after the pandemic, some of the kids leave in waves. So I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to see you this weekend or not. Hey, hope you have a great, you know, Thanksgiving with your family. And that was the last I saw them.
Did they allow?
So I'm going to pause it there. So he's saying that he saw them like 3-ish weeks before the murders, which the murders were on the 13th, right? So 3 weeks before the 13th of November would have been like October 23rd, right? Am I wrong on that? 1, 2, 3. If it was 3 weeks before Thanksgiving, it would have been like November 3rd-ish that he's talking about. But it's weird he's talking about Thanksgiving when it's like it was about to be Halloween. But I know what he's talking about with the students coming and going and him saying like he doesn't know who all he's going to see before they go off on break or whatever the case is. So he may have just been nervous. He may have slipped on his words a little bit. But it's a little bit weird. Also, some people are saying this guy's quite animated. Yeah, I mean, this guy probably knew he was doing this interview, so I bet any other day out of the week, if you were to pluck this guy out of this vape shop and ask him to do an interview, he would have sounded substantially different than what he did here. I assume he did not hit his vape before this interview, regardless of what he was smoking. I bet this guy sounds wildly different right now if you were to just talk to him. So I don't know. Then again, it just could be an animated guy, but he definitely had his hair done. I don't know. Anyways, it's a little bit weird also that he made a comment about them all being together. I would imagine that this vape shop isn't, I mean, I guess it's probably open fairly late at night, but it's like, if it's just middle of the afternoon, say 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock after class and the sun's still out, you wouldn't necessarily make a comment about 4 or 5 girls being together and saying like, oh, it's good to see you guys are all traveling in a pack, considering how dangerous Moscow, Idaho is, because prior to them being murdered, this place hadn't seen a murder in 7 years. So it's weird to me that he would call out them running around in a pack prior to all of this. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's a little bit weird. But then again, if they were legitimately like traveling and making sure Kaylee always had somebody because she legitimately had some sort of a stalker, then maybe they were putting off protection vibes. I don't know.
Elaborate any more on the stalker comment?
They more or less kept making the comment that it always seemed to happen either by the campus or down on Main Street. And the last time the Kaylee more or less made it sound like it seemed like it was down on Main Street and that the person was coming from like around the Corner Club area, and then as far as I remember, it's the guy who ended up like trying to go and talk to her, and then he gave up on it and he ended up walking away. So she thought she was being stalked up to a certain point, and then looked behind her and he was no longer behind her. So
I just want to make sure that I get it right. So
yeah.
Just tell me again exactly what you remember.
Just more or less, I made a joke about them being in a group, and they just said, yeah, one of our friends and motioning to Kaylee that she'd been stalked recently. And so that had people constantly following her around. And it's not just a one-off thing, that this is apparently something that Kaylee had tons of issues with. That apparently she always had somebody who's constantly walking behind her like that. So, and it was more so at nighttime when they were out there drinking and stuff like that. Because I asked them, like, is it at school? And she's like, no, when I'm at night, going out to the bars or coming back from the bars. And again, living down that way,
did she
there.
Specifically mention the Corner Club?
Not the Corner Club, but just in that general direction and stuff like that. So. The only reason I would assume the Corner Club is because that's the only bar that's down in that area anymore now. So we used to have 2. One was CJ's and then the Corner Club. It's just Corner Club now, then a whole block before it mingles. So.
How many times did you see Kaylee and Maddie? How many times would they come to the store?
I'd say, now that I'm trying to think back in my head, I've only saw them maybe like 6, 7 times total. So I'd say probably since the start of this beginning of this year.
So like, beginning of the year to essentially the end of the year, November, if they had seen him up until like 3 weeks prior to all of this, and he's saying he saw them maybe 6 or 7 times. So that's like once every 2 months that they were probably going into the vape shop, roughly, which I don't vape. I've never vaped any of that. I don't know if that's common to go refill vapes or buy new vapes every 2-ish months. But I mean, that's a fair amount of times to see them. I'm sure he sees a lot of students. It seems like a lot of people vape nowadays. But yeah, interesting that he would make comments like that, she had been like followed and someone was always on, at her back or behind her, those kinds of things. I don't know. It's a strange thing to me for sure. And it takes me back to this video of them walking, and it makes me wonder if there was somebody always on her, behind her. I know a few people had pointed this out, which this may just be pure happenstance, but this truck that pulls in, people were like, whose truck is this? It almost looks like, I don't know, if this is almost 2 a.m, what was this truck pulling into this little awning section for? But then again, who knows? Maybe they were parking to walk over to the Corner Club, because the Corner Club is just back here behind, out of frame. So I don't know. Was there somebody that was just kind of like pulling in and following them around? I mean, who knows? There are probably tons of pretty sorority girls that come in there. Yeah, that's another thing. Like, did this guy really know them that well, or is he getting them mixed up with people? I mean, maybe they were, left enough of an impression to, have him remember them legitimately. But I assume, and not to be rude once again, but there is probably a lot, it's Idaho, of sorority girls that look very similar. I mean, even Maddie and Kaylee in this case. I obviously know now which one is which in looking at photos, but at the beginning I was getting them mixed up in the food truck video. So I don't know. I'm sure he sees a lot of people that look similar, and so he may have even seen them more than what he thought as well. All right, let's watch the rest of this, and then we'll keep it moving.
So we know that police have looked into the possibility of there being a stalker. Latest we know from police is that they've never found anything to corroborate there actually being a stalker. They looked into an incident, Ashley, you might remember, from mid-October from a business downtown, and said there was nothing there that they could figure out that it was actually a stalking incident. We're not sure if that's the same incident that Kaylee and Maddie were talking to the vape shop manager about, but certainly interesting to hear him say that.
It seemed like he had spoken with them multiple times and about that topic multiple times as well. What about surveillance video from his shop, that manager? Was he asked for it? Does he have any? Would it be helpful anyway?
Yeah, so he says police came to his shop a couple of days after the murders, and the video had been deleted there. He doesn't have cameras on the outside, but I guess they were still interested in video on the inside since the girls had been there so many times. But like so many other stores that we found, the video deletes after a week or two.
Yeah, so I mean, who knows if that footage from weeks and weeks prior would provide any value to the case at all. Also, wanted to mention, Brian Enton of News Nation tweeted 40 minutes ago, he quote tweeted his video, that the Moscow PD say the Hyundai Elantra located in Eugene is not believed to be connected to the murders. So I know that some people were diving deep into LLCs connected to VIN numbers and connected to the property and so on and so forth. But we're getting reports from Brian Enton that Moscow PD is saying that they are not connected. So I don't know if that, is fully confirmed or not, but it's probably safe to say it's not, especially if they're already reporting that. There's a very solid difference between like a Brian Enton and somebody like me, just like covering this on YouTube. They make sure and try to get a lot of stuff fully, crossed off. And they try to make sure that all of that is legitimized before reporting it. Whereas we have a little bit more leeway in just kind of going through whatever. We're not the news, it's great. It's great not being the news. It is good to just go through stuff though. It is definitely interesting and fun. Okay, so part of me wants to watch part of this crime. What is this one? Let me find it. This one is so interesting to me. I'm gonna go into this video here. I gotta give credit. Hopefully they don't ping me for this, but I'm gonna watch a bit of this crime circus video. We're going to listen to this. I will say I do not endorse. We're watching this. I don't know who Crime Circus is really. I don't endorse what they're saying here. We're just going to go through it. I found it to be somewhat interesting. I think it's a little bit overly dramatized. I don't know the word right now. But there's a little bit, I don't really typically like the whole music and stuff going along with the video, but we're going to watch anyways. This goes into the Jack Ducour. I don't know how to say it. But yeah, go check out Crime Circus, their channel. I'm going to list it here. Oh, it shows how many people are watching. 449. I'll leave that down there. I'm going to play this a little faster than normal.
This is a brand new Jack Decor video where we take an even deeper dive into the happenings in Moscow, Idaho, and we try to get to the bottom of, did Jack live in that house that I previously showed you? I think after watching this video, you might form an entirely brand new opinion if you ever doubted me. Let's jump right into this and find out.
So we're going to skip through a little bit.
I previously showed you this picture where Jack may live. Some of you doubted. Well, let's take a look-see at this picture right here. We've got Jack on the left and Kaylee on the right. But what's extra interesting about this photo? What do we see in the background? I do believe we see the very house discussed in my previous video. And that was a Crime Circus exclusive theory. Some people stole my video and didn't give me credit, but you heard it here first, breaking news from Crime Circus. Anyways, for those of you that still aren't convinced, let's zoom into the real estate photo and have a closer look. As you can see, that's the exact same window. It's the exact same bricks. It's the exact same concrete below. And you can also see part of the door, which is also an exact match. So, what do you think now? You remember that video that allegedly showed Murphy running around that house? Same house. There's a photograph of Jack and Kaylee at that house now. I could probably end this video right here with my point proven, but this is Crime Circus, so we're gonna go a little deeper now. As you can see from the satellite view here, we've got what may be Jack's house on the left side, and over on the right side was Kaylee's house.
So once again, his right in the clip, that would be Kaylee's. This would be supposedly Jack's house. Maybe even Adam, who they were allegedly speaking with at the bar. So that's another thing to keep in mind. The Adam that they're referring to at the bar, I believe, could have been the same one of Jack's roommates. Okay, I'm actually keep playing. I'll pull up another thing. John, Jack has been cleared by law enforcement. Cleared is one thing, okay? Cleared does not mean you're fully not going to be looked into. They may have cleared somebody at the beginning, but that doesn't necessarily mean, and they've even said that they're going back into some of the initial people. It definitely doesn't mean you can't go back and re-add somebody to your list. But yes, they have talked about clearing Jack D. And like I'm saying, I'm not saying that Jack D is involved in this in any way. We are purely speculating. We're listening and reacting to a video from Crime Circus.
There's only about 216 feet in between these two houses. That's less than a football field away. And I've previously said that's about a 30-second walk. I now think that's about a 20-second walk. Anyways, let's take note of this house in the middle with the white roof. You can see it's surrounded by rocks and a chain link fence in the background. And what do we see here? We see a picture of Jack and Kaylee. Some people have told me that Kaylee was way out of Jack's league. You leave me a comment and let me know down below. What do you think?
So these are the parts of his video that I think are just dumb. Like, why introduce that theory? Like, somebody think that she's out of his league. Look, this has nothing to do with the case, in my opinion. So it's just like those little comments are weird to me. But he adds them anyways. Yeah, I don't know what it has to do with anything. But yeah.
We see a picture of Jack and Kaylee.
What do you think?
Some people have told me that Kaylee was way out of Jack's league. You leave me a comment and let me know down below. What do you think? Was Kaylee out of his league? Or do good guys actually win sometimes? Then again...
Like, let me know down below. I think it's an interesting video, but that's just, it's a little cringy to me.
In the end, she had broken up with him and was allegedly moving to Texas alone. So maybe nice guys really do finish last. Moving on, looking back at this satellite image from above, we can now see we have in our possession a picture of Jack, allegedly at the house on the left, as well as allegedly at the house in the middle with the rock yard. So one might think Jack could be very familiar with cutting through directly in between those two houses, or even secretly behind in the tree line where nobody would even see anybody creeping through. So let's take a closer look at this tree line and check out some images of behind the property. As you can see over to the left side, that's part of the tree line behind the property. And if you look off into the distance, you can see the house that Jack allegedly lived in, that Jack and Kaylee took that picture in front of. And I've previously showed you the TikTok video as well as realtor photos inside that house, showing that is the same house.
So that is interesting, that you can absolutely see through from the house. So we're looking at, from the crime scene, off the balcony, the main level, the second middle level, you can see over to the house he was referring to that Jack was standing on the roof of, chugging the beer, allegedly, if that was actually Jack in that video. This would have been the house that he's talking about that had the rock garden. You can kind of see the rocks through there. It's a little bit small, but you could easily walk through here, no doubt. And I think seeing, photos of people in front of houses, like, it's very clear that that's the same house there, and it's very clear that whatever house that they are taking a photo of. Where's the other one? This one. It's like, who lived in this one, right? Who lived in this house? I think it's obvious that there's a ton of people in this area that know. Everyone knows everyone to some extent, right? Like what were they doing at this house, right? It's probably just a friend of theirs that also lives in this house, and there was a party happening or whatever that had them taking a photo in the back.
And looking closer, you can see
Everyone, I think, knew everyone is what I'm saying. And it was probably very common for people just to cut through fence lines and properties to go between houses.
the other house that Jack and Kaylee were photographed at with the rock yard. So you could either cut in between those two houses or through the tree line. It's a very short walk. We're going to take a quick look and look at a few more pictures from behind the victim's house to show you the tree line and give you an idea of what kind of tree line we're looking at. So what do you think about these photographs I've just presented you? Some of you still aren't convinced? Okay, let's have a look-see at this picture right here. This is a picture of Kaylee and an unknown friend at what I do believe to be possibly Jack's house. For those of you that still aren't convinced, we're going to do a side-by-side comparison of the realtor photo as well as this photo of Kaylee, which I do believe is allegedly Jack's house. You can see it's just over to the left side of the house, right near the steep hill, and you can even see the reflection of the cinder block retaining wall that's holding up the steep hill away from the house. You can see the windows are a match, the retaining wall is a match, the foundation is a match, the bricks are a match, and that is Kaylee in this photo. Do you see what I'm getting at here, folks? Some of you doubted me. Some of you said that was not Murphy in the previous video. Some of you said the lights don't match. Folks, this is the same house. That's undeniable at this point. So what do you think now? Smash the like button, leave me a comment, make sure you're subscribed, and let's move on. I previously mentioned in my last video release the possibility of somebody being able to walk on or off the roof. Some of you thought I was crazy, but I'm not looking so crazy anymore. Let's check out this clip right here. As you can see here, this is clearly the house in question that Jack allegedly lived at, and that the dog Murphy was allegedly running around as I previously showed you. You can see the victim's house off in the distance. It's not up for question or debate if this is that house. What I would like your opinion on is this Jack on the rooftop of this house right here? As you can see down in the parking area, there's a white car parked down there. And I'm not sure if that's the white car, but the police are looking for a white car. Anyways, you can see the victim's house off in the distance, and there are people on this rooftop of the house that I showed you previously, and it's just like I said. People can walk on the rooftop, on or off, very easily. They can either come in or out the window, or right off the backside to the hill where it's a very steep hill. This is an easy access rooftop, just like I previously told you, and the evidence is continuing to come out by the day. What do you think of that? This is thought-provoking stuff. And what I'd like to find out, was that Jack on the roof in that video, or was he recording the video?
So that's kind of all I'm going to show of his video. You guys can go check out Crime Circus if you'd like to. It definitely is interesting. I definitely think that that Jack D did live at one point or another in the house that is right around the corner from where the murders took place. This is an older image from 2007. But what he's saying is that the roommate of Jack supposedly said that Jack was asleep or in his room. And if for some reason Jack did live on the second floor, he's basically saying it would be pretty easy to go off the back side of the house. You can already see the hill angled at the back. I mean, you could easily hop down and probably hop back up. I mean, he clearly had no problem, if it was Jack, he had no problem hopping up onto the roof in the first place to chug the beer. So I don't know. I think he probably didn't climb from the bottom of the house right here to get up there. He probably hopped out one of the bedroom windows. So Mike says Crime Circus sounds like he inhaled helium a bit. I did speed up Crime Circus's video there by 1.5 speed, so it did raise the pitch of his voice. So I'm sure he doesn't quite sound as helium, induced normally. It does look like Jack in that video though. This is October of 2021. There's a more current photo, street view. You can see what looks like the same car that was in the driveway when Jack was chugging the beer. But there's the house there. I don't know. What do you guys think? Apparently Jack has been ruled out. Let me look into this here. Jack D. What was it? Jack is in this video, which I had not really seen until recently, at the memorial held Okay, maybe not. Oh, they don't show him. He was at the memorial. It is what it is. Okay, hold on. I'll go back to the house. Someone's saying go back to the house. Go back to the house and show cars again. These are the cars. Whoops. We got to go back one more. This is the car that kind of looks like a Hyundai Elantra. This somewhat looks like a Hyundai Elantra, but I don't think it quite is. Chris, that's a good point. You could easily step up onto a vehicle as well. I mean, even this red vehicle is right here. You could easily hop up onto the roof. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. All right. Is there anything else that we need to go through? Let me look through some of these videos. If we go to the latest, we'll just go through the latest on the Twitter. Idaho white Hyundai Elantra found. See, even that's what's so crazy about this is like a tweet from a minute ago is talking about the car that was found in Oregon 500 miles away, and that apparently at this point has been ruled out. So it's like you have to really vet and go through a lot of this info when a case is this popular. There's just constantly stuff coming out. But yeah, Alicia made a good point. Okay. Earlier, speaking on the fraternity, that's, I think, the biggest thing in this case right now is that we still know so little about Ethan and Xana's evening. We've got moments caught on camera of, Maddie and Kaylee walking to and from where they were heading that evening. And even if Ethan and Xana didn't really go out to too many places, you would think that somebody at the fraternity would have slipped up and said, I was there, they left at 1 o'clock, or I was there, they were there until 11 and they left at 11:15. So then we would only have like a few hours time gap to look into. But as of right now, we still have this like mysterious 4-ish plus hour time frame where Ethan and Xana are unaccounted for, right? Were they at the Sigma Chi fraternity that entire time? I don't know. But it definitely is suspicious to me. Also, it's a very strange thing. It makes me wonder if the university, the students have more of an idea of what went down. But like if they did, you would think that their rumors would have gotten out there a little bit more. I know that they're out there on some of the channels and places like 4chan, which are just a lot of what looks like conspiracies. But you would think somebody would have said something, and it would have gotten out on like Twitter, for example, by now. So I don't know. Once again, I'm going through the Hyundai Elantra. This is the security camera footage, the still image of the car matched up with a Hyundai. I'm going to read some of your guys' comments. Amanda says, I thought they confirmed they were at the party the whole time. I never saw any sort of confirmation. I knew that they had confirmed that they were at the party, that they had made an appearance at Sigma Chi, but I had never heard whether or not they left at, say, 1:15 to get back home by 1:30. We know that Kaylee and Maddie were at the food truck at 1:30 and got home shortly after. Ethan and Xana supposedly got back to the house around 1:30. Yes, the truck, it was just there. The truck that you guys are talking about would be the one when they're walking by, I assume. Yeah, we talked about this earlier. I'm not sure what truck that is that comes into frame, if there's any significance there. I swear that I read somewhere that someone was talking about a truck, a white truck in this case, but I've never been able to find it. Excuse me. I don't know if it was my brain making that up. Yeah. They have a police issued timeline. I can look. Seems like everyone out there is super sketchy. The front of the car looks longer. The front of the car looked longer. It does, but it also was moving, so it could have been blurred. I'm just going to play this. This is the location where they were walking. Joyous, what truck are you referring to in the picture? What truck? Was there a truck that they're referring to? I'm going to look. You guys are watching my video here showing the location from the security camera footage. I'm repeating this. That's the camera that would have captured them walking just underneath the awning, coming from the corner club. Steve, check the video with Jack on the roof. There's a truck in that clip. Oh, Steve, thank you. Let me go back to that clip in a moment here. Let me go back to that in a moment. Okay, truck in the background of this. All right. All right. Okay, there. Boom. Truck right there. All right. Let's see if it matches. Once again, Idaho, right? It's going to have a lot of trucks. A lot of trucks. A lot of white trucks. But you never know. Let's see here. Nope, not the same truck at all. At least unless they've had a prior or a modification done to it. But if we look at the truck that pulls in next to them, let me really zoom in on this for you guys. You can see the front window and the back window. If I scrub, they look like two separate windows. Does that make sense? And then here, it's like one big tinted window. There's no panel in between. Does that make sense? Maybe I can try to show both at the same time here. It'll have to be a little smaller, but I'll show both at the same time. Here we go. Boom. You can kind of see it now, okay? Right there. It looks like one big long piece. Here, you've got a little gap, a little panel on the side. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for calling that out. I think it was Steve H. Thank you for tagging me and calling that out. Joyous, no problem, no problem. Window might be down. Window might be down. Are you talking about on the right over here? Because yeah, even if the window's down over here, I feel like you would still... I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's not the same truck. It just doesn't look like the same. But good job pointing it out. I mean, it looks similar for sure. Someone's saying 2-door, not a 4-door. No, they both look like 4 doors. This one looks like a 4-door as well. It's hard to see. Oh, geez. This looks like 4 doors right here. And then this one here, it too looks like a 4-door. You can see the little, I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't look like the same. It doesn't look like the same. I think most people are agreeing as well. But thanks for calling that out. I didn't know what truck you guys were referring to. Thank you. Message here. Let's see. Page 3 of 6. 1, 2, 3. All right, we got a little bit of a timeline here. Thank you, Alicia. Guys, shout out to the mods. Alicia and Angela, I think, is in here. Angela, I think, is busy driving around right now, but thanks for being here nonetheless. Alicia just sent this to me. Detectives continue investigating what occurred from approximately 9 p.m. Okay, so this is referring to Ethan and Xana. So they're still investigating what occurred between 9 p.m. November 12th to 1:45 a.m. on November 13th. So thank you, Alicia. Yeah, I didn't think it was confirmed whether or not. I didn't think that time at Sigma Chi was fully accounted for. I didn't think that they had confirmed that they had stayed there all throughout the whole night. So yeah, it's super strange that we have no other, record of what they were up to, right? I think it's really weird. The home cultivator says just because it's not the same truck doesn't mean it's not involved. Yeah, I mean, certainly not. I mean, the thing about it is, guys, what gets a little bit iffy when it comes to cases like this is seeing a truck pull into somewhere. Like, that doesn't mean that they're involved, right? It is weird to see at this hour a truck just kind of pull in. It makes me want to see the rest of the video, right? Like, why were they pulling in there? Were they pulling in there to turn around, pop a Yui? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, certainly there could be some weird connection there that we're just unaware of at this point, and we'll know way more later on. But I don't believe it's the same truck that was in the background of that video. So, anyways, yeah. Maybe they were home alone in bed. They were human. Creeper neighbor. What do you think of that neighbor guy across the street interview? Inan Harsh. I did watch the Inan Harsh interview with, I don't remember what YouTuber it was, or maybe it was Angela. Angela has also sent me a lot of really great information. I think Angela sent it to me. Yeah, Angela sent me the Q&A that Hidden True Crime did with Inan Harsh. I thought it was interesting. I know a lot of people are way more suspicious of this guy. If you guys are not aware of what I'm referring to, it is this interview here. This is the neighbor. What is this notification that's happening? Wow. Oh, Angela, thank you so much for the $5 dancing lemon. Angela, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. It's been a while since we've seen the dancing lemon enter the chat. I appreciate that. I'm here, but I'm not modding. No worries. Chris says Inan was at the food truck. I have seen that as well. I've seen some people talk about this. We're not going to have time to go through this entire interview today, but if you guys want to, it is labeled or titled Live Q&A Inan Harsh. A bit of a breakdown on Inan. Inan is Chef Dizzy, as he goes by on Zoom. Is a chef that lives across the street from the house on 1122. D caught the... Wait, is D leaving? Oh, good eye. I thought you said goodbye. Anyways, he's a chef, and he has come into contact with the girls several times. He's had wine with them outside. He brought them a bottle of wine. I know a lot of people feel really uneasy about this guy. I personally think that he maybe is just trying, not like inserting himself, but I think that maybe he's just trying to offer a little bit of insight. I don't know. I don't know how to feel totally about him. But yeah, anyways, like I said, we're not going to go through that. Some people are saying he's in the food truck video. I didn't see him in the food truck video. Did he? I mean, I feel like that would have been mentioned in this interview, right? If he was the food truck guy. Also, Riv Grizzly pointed out that Inan is not the poncho guy, but it might be a guy with a black jacket. Yeah, I thought it kind of looked like him, but I don't think it's him in the food truck either. Okay. Thank you guys so much for being here. I don't know what else I'm going to go through at this point. Thank you for the people who have sent me some stuff in the past couple days. We're going to quickly just click Twitter here. We're going to just look at the latest from the Moscow, Idaho. Yeah, we got more people tweeting that there's no relation to any property, Moscow, Idaho, or ongoing murder investigations. The public is asked to stop contacting the owner. So yeah, guys, if they've really confirmed that they have nothing to do with the case, it's probably true. Man, you got a lot of people reporting on it though. It would have been an amazing break in the case if all of a sudden we were looking at an entirely different state of potentially people fleeing Moscow, but it just doesn't look like that at this point. These are the investigators leaving the house. I'm going to read some of your guys' comments. And you know what I'm going to do for the last 15 minutes? For anyone that's watching, if you're watching live, thank you for being here. Stick around if you'd like to play 15 minutes of GeoGuessr. If you're watching the re-upload, I'm going to put a disclaimer in the chat right now. We're going to end the year, which I may still stream before the end of the year, but I am going to be traveling. And so I won't have my normal setup that I do have here. I will have my laptop. I will be taking this with me, which I have the comments up here right now, in addition to on this screen. But we're going to play some GeoGuessr. If there's a huge break in this case, I can go live back from where I'm going to be for Christmas. But you know what? Let's end this will probably be the last stream before Christmas. And so let's end it with a fun few rounds of GeoGuessr. So if you guys want to stick around, feel free. For the people who are watching the re-upload, this is where the Moscow, Idaho talk is pretty much ending. I mean, we can still keep chatting about it. Feel free to drop comments and I can still chat to you guys about it. But this is kind of where that is all going to end. And we're going to be playing GeoGuessr. So GeoGuessr, for those of you who do not know, is a game that you try to guess where you're at on the map based on the location that it gives you. So for those who are dipping out, which I do see some people dropping off the stream, thank you for being here. Tap the like button on your way out. I figured we would end the stream on a bit of a lighter note. This looks like Mexico, New Mexico rather. Maybe like Santa Fe, New Mexico. Let me move my... If you think you know where it's at, let me know in the comments. I'm going to guess like Santa Fe, New Mexico. It just kind of looks like... It's Santa Fe! Look at that. I'm 4 miles away. It's a fantastic guess. Jasmine said Utah. It's going to be a little delayed for you guys, so I'm not going to do a speed round. I'm going to give you guys a chance to chime in. Griswold Street. What is this? Christmas Vacation? This definitely doesn't look like a scene from Christmas Vacation. This looks like... Oh, this may give away something here. This man on the porch is wearing a Green Bay Packers shirt. Flags can sometimes give things away too here. We have an American flag. This doesn't look... I mean, let's just go somewhere in the U.S. I think we might... Yeah, we're only doing United States right now, so these are all going to be U.S. locations. We have some people saying Chicago, Texas. You can definitely be in Texas and still wear a Green Bay Packers shirt. So I don't know if it's going to be all the way up in Wisconsin. This looks like a little warm for Wisconsin. People are saying Milwaukee. Let's just go South Milwaukee, between Milwaukee and Chicago. Okay. Further south, Peoria. Illinois, I think. Yeah. Okay. So Illinois, that's not bad. Also, I said 15 minutes. We may end up doing half an hour of this. I love this game. Okay, I see palm trees. So we got, this looks like Honolulu, to be honest, or downtown Orlando. Oh, this is definitely not Orlando. We got mountains in the background. This is Hawaii for sure. Without a doubt, 100%. This is Hawaii. And I believe it is Honolulu because we got some bigger downtown area. So we'll go there. Whoa, guys. 1,234 yards. I should have just clicked in the heart of downtown Honolulu since the buildings. That's fantastic. If I hadn't seen the mountains off to the right. Oh, slow mode is on. I'm going to turn slow mode off so you guys can just hammer out the chats. Slow mode is now off so you guys can just guess away. Chat away, all right? Okay. Haley, I'm not that good at this. I'm doing really well on this round. I've been guessing very close for the most part. This is the 4th out of 5 rounds. But sometimes I do terrible. You either play a lot or travel a lot. I do travel a lot in the U.S. I'm actually going to be having a layover in Chicago tomorrow, which is where one of the locations was close to. But this looks, we got mountains kind of in the distance. The Home Cultivator, thank you for joining. We are geo-guessing, my friend. We have now hopped off of the topic of the Moscow homicides, which feel free to still chat about it. We got people still dropping chats about it down below. But we are ending the stream with a few games here. What does this look like? This looks... They usually blur the license plates. Yeah, I don't know where this is at. San Jose, California. That's a good guess, to be honest, Cheryl. I did see mountains, kind of like Silicon Valley type mountains, which I've been there several times in the distance. Can't see them here, but you can kind of see them at the end. I'm going to go... Yeah, I'm going to go San Jose. Maybe Fremont area. More San Jose. Yeah. I've literally been right here before. It's probably further down into the city. Eugene. Wow. Speaking of Eugene, Oregon. We got that. Oh, Lex said Oregon. We were wrong on that one. I should have taken Lex's... And Nina said Oregon. Oh my gosh, I should have taken your guys' advice. We were really far on that one. All right, last one. Okay, this is very much a difficult one. Right off the bat, I think like suburb of Atlanta or like somewhere in North Carolina. I'm not even going to look at any of your guys' guesses. I'm just going to hurry through the last one here. And I'm just going to say... I'm going to say somewhere outside Fayetteville. Okay. Florence. Yeah. South Carolina. Close. Not too bad. So that wasn't bad. We actually did pretty solid on that. 19,000 total points. Okay, we're gonna do one where we do we're gonna do the entire world. So anywhere in the world could be. This is where it gets tough. Oh yikes. This could still be the US. It just could be in the middle of like a rough area. Yikes, where are we? That's kind of a cool shot. Oakland. Valerie says Oakland. Detroit, Russia. Yeah, I don't know. It is giving Detroit vibes, but not fully. I don't know. Louisiana. Does it snow? I mean, I guess it might snow in Louisiana. I don't know, though. Ukraine. I mean, yeah, we got to look for signs. Cleveland. You guys are... Okay, yeah, this is definitely not the U.S. based on those signs there. We're going to go Eastern Europe. We're going to go, like, yeah, Belarus, Ukraine, I mean... Shoot, we'll split the difference between Moscow and Russia. Pick one of these. Boom. Yeah. We were pretty close. 465 miles. Oh, you guys, I'm going to show you guys something. For the people who've stuck around, I'm going to show you guys something. This is very, very exciting. Give me a second. Give me a second. I'm going to show you guys the banner, the poster for the documentary. It is essentially done. Bear with me. Bear with me. Bear with me. Boom. There we go. There it is. The banner poster for my documentary, The Dolly Madison Murders, which is set to come out early 2023. It is being pitched and it's going through the process right now. I'm very, very excited about it. This is an exclusive. This is the banner. The actual IMDb page shows the actual poster. If you go to IMDb and type in the Dolly Madison Murders, you can see it is right here. I'm very excited about it. There's the poster. It is, like I said, set to come out early 2023. These are the first iterations of the poster. Yeah, there's a few screenshots from the movie. That's me in Miami at our old apartment working on it. There's a screenshot from it as well. There's another one. And that is not from my movie. But anyways, there you go. Boom. I am very excited to announce that the trailer will be coming out very, very soon right here on this YouTube channel as well. So a little bit of a tangent there, but for those of you who are still hanging out tonight, there's a little sneak peek. The trailer will come out on this channel really, really soon. So anyways, Oakland was for earlier. Oh, okay. I gotcha. Where are we? Where is this? This looks like we're back in the States. Jasmine says Kansas. You know, could be. It does have blue plates. We'll go Kansas. We'll just go right outside Wichita. How about that? Let's go right outside of Wichita, Kansas. Oh, no, North Dakota. Basically the same, right? There you go. Joyous, you remind me of my little brother who passed away. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's what caught my attention, so I subbed and stayed because you do a fantastic job. Joyous, thank you so much. I'm so sorry to hear about your brother. Man, that's tough. 8 of 2020. So sorry, Joyous. Glad that you are enjoying the stream nonetheless, though. Thank you. Oklahoma, Tennessee. You know what part of me wants to do? You know what I could do? I could show you guys this. More stuff with the doc. I got more stuff to show you. Let me plug this in. Oh no, I can't. One sec. All right. I know I'm bouncing around right now between all these different things. Actually, no, I can't show that. Dang it. Now I'm like, wait, what can I show? Hmm. Dang it. Yeah, I can't show any of this because it has... Claire, will you be able to watch your documentary in the UK? Yes. It should be able to be viewed in the UK for sure. Keeping my ADHD alive. Sorry. Let me try to find what I'm looking for while I keep this up. I'm all over the place right now. If you know where we're at on this video or on this, let me know. Carol says, Sharp, show us part of the trailer you showed us in the beginning. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do right now. Oh, shoot. There we go. Okay, there's part of the trailer right there. I mean, this isn't... There's no audio, and I can't really show audio. Or I can't list the audio. Yeah, I can't actually show all of this, but you get an idea. Let me show this part right here.
The bank, caddy corner is a McDonald's. If you're gonna rob someplace, I would think somewhere other than a day-old bread store where you could literally walk in at that time and buy 3 loaves of bread for $1 and then not even take all the money in the register.
2 decades and no arrests after 2 women were murdered inside the Dolly Madison Bakery in Great Bend.
The general public that was there were of course, they were concerned.
That gives you kind of an idea of the doc, and yeah, it's very exciting stuff. It's very, very exciting stuff. So it's going to be coming out very, very soon, and I cannot say where it will be yet because I don't even know entirely where it will be at. So keep on the lookout for that. But yes, it's tremendously sad. Oh, this looks like it's definitely not in the US, by the way. Oh, wait, my face went away. There we go. But I'm very excited to show that full trailer very soon. All right, we're going to go Eastern Europe again. I don't know where this is at, but it's definitely not Ohio, that's for sure. Oh, wow, it's Russia. Way over there. Poland, Alaska. We're closer to Alaska than my guess. No trespassing. I never know if I'm seeing delayed comments from you guys or current comments from you guys, since it's a little bit delayed, because some people are saying Africa, Russia. Iowa. I mean, we'll go with Iowa. Sure. I feel like there's too many like hills for Iowa, but we're going to go with Iowa. Ah, Pennsylvania. All right, this is the last one. This is not the U.S. Big time hills. Wow, what is that? It's like a mountain with no trees. Those are some crazy... Wow, what is this? Like religious building over here? Like a church? What is this? It looked way crazier from further away. Japan. I don't think this... Korea. India. Yeah, let's go India. In between India and Thailand. Bangladesh, maybe. Nope. Wow, Turkey. Okay. Okay, I'm thrown off. Okay. I said we'd play 15 minutes of this. I've already gone way further, and I've gone all over the place, and I've gone on tangents. It's time for me to go. It's 9:21. I got to catch a flight very early tomorrow for the holidays. I wish you all a good holiday season. Hopefully you are able to celebrate something with your families or with your loved ones, whatever that might be. Just have a good time. Relax if you can. Hopefully we have some more answers in the Moscow, Idaho case soon. Stay tuned, like I said, for the actual full trailer for the documentary. I cannot say where it will be able to be viewed at this point because I just simply don't know yet. But once I know, I will be letting everyone know. Of course, here on YouTube, I have tons of different graphics and promotional materials already made that will come out once I know. Thank you so much, Cheryl. Hope your documentary leads to solving the case. I don't know if it will do that, but I definitely know that it will get the information out there to more people. So that's very good. And I'm very excited about that. Sandy, thank you, Aaron. Have a good night. Sandy, Denny, thank you so much for being a member. Thank you guys to the members. Thank you to the mods. Thank you to those who gave some donations during the stream. Really appreciated it. And yeah, I think that's basically it. Hit the like button on your way out, guys. Have a safe and happy holidays, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. See ya.